welcome back to Mr. Moher Music and my series on film music. In this session we're having a look at the 1950s, where the big screen branches out, lots of new things going on. So let's have a look at our objectives for the session. I want you to be able to state some facts about changes to films in the 1950s, and I want you to compare two different songs from films. Here we go, let's get started with these changes. So, studios stopped employing composers to work for them. They cost a lot of money and they weren't always needed, so instead the composers started to work for themselves as freelancers, and they put forward their ideas to the studios for their scores. So it completely changed how films were being composed, in some cases. Different genres of music started creeping into films. There was a big focus on jazz, with jazz composers such as Miles Davis composing for films, something that wouldn't have been seen before this point. In one film that Miles Davis composed, it was entirely improvised. So there was Miles Davis and his band, they had the film on the screen, and they played the music as it went along and completely made it up. Something that wouldn't have even been thought of before this time. Until this time, all films were made by the big 5 major film studios. Well, they were starting to get smaller at this point. So independent studios were popping up, small studios that just pop up and do smaller, low budget films. But the big thing, competition with television. In the 1950s, there were over 5,000 films produced. But in the 1940s, there was nearly 8,000 films produced. The money had to be split between TV and film. So the studios, they had to make less films so they could spend more money to have big effect. So loads of changes during this time. One thing that was really popular during this time was musicals. During the 1950s, a few of them are appearing on screen now. Musical movies became really popular. Recordings of old musicals that have been around for a while, and new musicals that were being written just for the big screen. There were 4 adaptations of Rodgers and Hammerstein shows: Oklahoma, The King and I, Carousel, South Pacific. Paramount Pictures released White Christmas by Irving Berlin, and Funny Girl, written by the Gershwins. And Warner Brothers did Calamity Jane and the first version of A Star Is Born, and hugely popular at the time. We're going to look at one of these for today's listening task, and that is Singing in the Rain. And I've picked this film because of how appropriate it is for the time. I've picked this film because how appropriate it is for what was going on in cinema. So, what do I mean? Well, the film is about the film industry changing around 1929. So it starts off showing them filming black and white movies and with no sound, and then sound came in. So they had to change the film completely to include sound. This was something completely new. So loads of things had to be done. It was a musical comedy, funny songs including Make Them Laugh and Good Morning, fantastic, and many other funny songs. The title song, Singing in the Rain, was written much earlier. It was written in 1929, but adapted for this film. And it's performed by the main character, singing in the street with rain coming down. It's very well known, and that is one of your listening pieces today. But there wasn't just musicals being filmed at this time. There were loads of other genres. And I want to compare Singing in the Rain with something completely different. We are going to the Wild West. Big Country was filmed in 1958, released in 1958, and it's an epic western film. Good old cowboy film. We don't need to worry about the film because we're only interested in the music, and the theme song specifically composed by Jerome Moross. Here he is, from Brooklyn in New York, born on the 1st of August 1913. During his early years, he met and became friends with Bernard Herrmann, who became another great composer. And in 1931, Jerome became friends with Aaron Copland. Do you remember that name if you did my musical maestros before? He composed the ballet Rodeo that I looked at before. So you might hear some similarities between that piece and this piece because they're in the same kind of style, this Western style. So your task, very tricky, because two completely different pieces, Singing in the Rain, the title song, and the theme from Big Country. You're going to compare the tempos. Fast, slow, in the middle, do they change? You need to listen and find out. Dynamics, loud, quiet, somewhere in the middle, do they change? Make sure you listen for the changes. Instrumentation. What instruments can you hear? Or, if you're lucky for the second one, which instruments can you see? Does it fit the genre? Well, Singing in the Rain is a musical, so it's going to have some singing, maybe some dancing. Maybe look out for a way that the actor is creating music. That's a clue. Not singing, a different way he's creating music. And for Big Country, it's a Western. So you're going to be able to hear the sound of horses running through the music. So there's going to be some fast string sections, especially at the beginning. What other things make it sound like a Western? And finally, do you like the piece? Yes? No? Not sure? Why? Let me know. Worksheets able to download from the box below. Have fun with this. I love both pieces. Enjoy.